Madeleine Sims-Fewer, réalisatrice, actrice, et Dusty Mancinelli, co-réalisateur. Que raconte votre film Violation?
Can you please tell us the story of your movie?
Yeah, so Violation follows a woman who is kind of on the precipice of divorce, and she returns home to her to seek solace from her sister, and is cruelly betrayed by both her brother-in-law and her sister, and decides to seek revenge.
Comment
Okay.
est Ok, merci. Comment est venue l'idée de Violation? Y a-t-il un côté autobiographique dans cette histoire?
How did you get the idea of the movie? It is like an autobiography?
We met at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2015, and we became fast friends. And our friendship is forged around our own shared experiences of abuse and trauma in our pasts. And we started making several short films together that explored themes of abuse, trauma, and gender politics.
Yeah, so while Violation's not strictly autobiographical, it calls on themes from our past and kind of comes from a deep personal place for both of us.
And for us, there were two specific things that were really personal to us. Showing a sexual assault that occurs where the perpetrator is someone that the person knows, that they trust, someone close to them, a familial person, and that the person, the victim of the assault is asleep when the assault occurs. These were two very important reference points for us, and that we were calling upon our own experiences.
Pensez-vous que votre film est une expérience de cinéma? Souhaitez-vous susciter le débat? Si oui, lequel?
Do you think that your movie is a real experience, like the audience can feel it as an experience? And do you think it can create a debate about that?
We hope that that both of those things happen. I think one of our primary goals, even when we started writing the script, was to create a visceral experience for the audience, so that it's all from Miriam's perspective, the whole film. And we really hoped to kind of pull the audience into her world. And in the way that we structure the film, in the way that we shoot the film, everything is meant to build on her experience and putting the audience into her place.
Yeah, we really wanted to capture the post-traumatic stress that the body goes through when dealing with residual trauma, so that the audience can form a connection with her experience. In terms of conversations and debates, we recognize that the film will be polarizing, but we don't think that the film is ambiguous about what occurs to Miriam. The sexual assault occurs, and it's very clearly a sexual assault. I think the question is really about her level of retribution. And
yeah, the debate we hope to stimulate is, how should people deal with trauma, and how do you deal with sexual assault where the perpetrator is someone so close to you, and what is your kind of responsibility as the perpetrator, and how do you heal?
Vous écrivez et tournez à deux. Comment se répartit le travail entre vous?
So you wrote the story and shoot together. So how it is to work with another person on the movie?
We've made 3 short films together as a directing team, and that really helped us develop a collaboration where we try to reach a consensus, a unified vision early on in the creative process. So we like to have a sort of hive mind approach where we both align our visions. We see the movie in the very same way. And so we don't delegate responsibilities. We're both ultimately in charge of every aspect of the directorial process.
Yeah, we spend so much time in prep getting exactly on the same page, so that when we're on set, we don't have any disagreements. We know exactly the film that we're making. And if someone has an idea, we're still flexible when we're on set. If someone has an idea and they're passionate and excited about it, then the other person will just go with that idea and trust that it's coming from the right place.
And the dynamic of Madeleine being in front of the camera and behind the camera, we've practiced that now on 2 other short films where Madeleine is also starring in the film. And what we have come to learn is that there is a moment where Madeleine needs to completely kind of relinquish control as a director and surrender herself in the moment as an actor. And that just puts a lot of responsibility, I think, on me to make sure that I'm constantly upholding our shared vision throughout that process, because she's putting a great deal of trust in me, and she needs.
But vice versa, I also have to trust. I have to trust that that Dusty is carrying out our vision, and I also have to trust in the way that he's directing me, so that I'm not thinking anymore about what the shot looks like or about the angles or the way the other actor is performing in the scene. I'm only thinking as the character.
Vous êtes réalisatrice et actrice principale dans Violation. Pourquoi ce choix?
Madeleine, so you directed the movie, and you also play a role in your movie because you are actress. Why did you choose that?
I always was going to act in our first feature for 2 reasons. Firstly, because I trained as an actor, and I love it. It's a passion for me, as well as in the same way that directing is. And we have developed a real shorthand as directors, as director-actor. But then also because it was our first feature and we made it for a very small budget, and the role of Miriam is so incredibly demanding that it made sense for me to play it, because I would always be there on set, and Miriam's in so much of the film. She's in every single scene. And we knew that we could push me as an actor much further than we could push someone we didn't know as well.
Si on vous dit que votre film, et c'est un compliment, nous évoque la froideur clinique du film de Michael Haneke, Le 7e continent, ainsi que la désespérance de Antéchrist de Lars von Trier, acceptez-vous la filiation et l'inspiration?
If we tell us that your movie reminds us the cold atmosphere of the 7th continent directed by Michael Haneke and the despair of Antichrist by Lars von Trier, do you accept the link and the inspiration?
For me, the inspiration of Charlotte Gainsbourg's performance in Antichrist was a huge inspiration to me as an actress. So definitely I feel that link between her performance and mine. It's a massive compliment to hear that reference.
Yeah, I think we have very different opinions about Lars von Trier. That's all I will say. And Haneke, yeah, we're huge fans of Funny Games and Cachet, and very influential work that has inspired our approach to how we make films. I think it's both works on a conscious and unconscious level.
It's also worth mentioning Catherine Breillat's Fat Girl was a big influence for us for this film too.
Mm-hmm.
Le directeur de la photographie, Adam Crosby, crée une ambiance éthérée à la fois à travers des plans larges et une beauté naturelle, ce sont les paysages, ainsi que des gros plans serrés, mouches piégées dans une toile d'araignée, une araignée prise au piège sous un verre. Que racontent ces choix et comment s'est passé le tournage et votre collaboration?
The director of the photography, Adam Crosby, created a delicate and soft atmosphere, especially during long shots of the natural beauty of the landscapes, and with close-up when we see a spider trapped under a glass or flies trapped on a spider web. For you, what tells all those artistic elements, and how was the collaboration with Adam?
We worked closely with Adam Crosby for several years. He shot all of our short films. We actually went to film school with him over a decade ago. So he's just really familiar with our work, and we developed a really close working relationship where we use all natural light. And a big part of that is shaping natural light and trying to create a very controlled look, but with using available light. So that means strategically scheduling around dawn and dusk, and using production design elements like curtains and drapes and lampshades to really control the color and the shape of the light. For us, I think the juxtaposition between the kind of raw beauty of nature and the ruthlessness of nature was really interesting to us, because the film in many ways deals with morality and consent.
Mm-hmm. I also think something that we've worked on a lot with Adam is having him feel almost like a character in the film. So we do a lot of improv, and we include Adam in that, and it's kind of like he's another character in the scene, improvising with us and finding the way to capture the emotions that are happening between these characters.
Yeah, there's a real kinetic energy that the camera work is trying to imbue that really hopefully feels like you as the audience are in those spaces with those characters.
Pour ne pas dévoiler le film, l'agression est filmée de manière discrète à travers des aperçus d'ongles, de cheveux, de gros plans sous les yeux. Contrairement à la scène qu'on appellera de représailles, vous nous prenez à témoin de façon clinique de l'horreur sans que ce soit un film d'horreur, une sorte d'horreur nue, crue. Comment avez-vous préparé ces scènes avec Jess Lavercombe, pour lequel d'ailleurs il a reçu plusieurs prix, dont celui de l'ACTRA Toronto du meilleur acteur?
The aggression is filmed in a discreet way through nails, hair, close-up shots on the eyes. And at the opposite of the reprisal scene, you bring us as a witness of this horrible event. Your movie is not an horror movie, but the scene is horrific. It is kind of true and rude horror. Jesse, your actor, received some prizes for his performance. For example, the ACTRA on Toronto. How did you prepare the scenes with Jesse Lavercombe?
Yeah, we've worked with Jesse Lavercombe for several years now. He was in our very first short film and another short film that we did. Yeah. And so we really developed a foundation of trust and respect with Jesse early on. And there's a renewal process where every time we work with Jesse, we have to renew that trust. And a part of that, I think, for us is about creating an open dialogue between us and Jesse. So it's really clear what our intentions are as filmmakers and what we're hoping to accomplish with this story and this particular character. And we give a lot of room and freedoms for Jesse to challenge us. And he really always comes into the rehearsal process with a lot of challenging, interesting questions that help us deepen our understanding of the character.
Yeah, Jesse also has recently been nominated for a Canadian Screen Award, which is worth mentioning. It's the Canadian Academy Awards. So we're very excited for him.
La partition d'Andrea Boccadoro, pleine de cordes gémissantes et de morceaux délicats et percutants, ajoute beaucoup au ton troublant. Comment s'est fait le choix artistique au niveau du mixage entre la mise en scène et la musique?
So in your movie, the music is made by Andrea Boccadoro. Sorry for the pronunciation of her name. So her music is full of stringed instruments. Songs are delicate and impactful. So how did you get this idea of this atmosphere, and how did you link the music with the shots?
So Andrea Boccadoro is actually a man.
Okay, sorry.
Italian. and he lives in England. And again, it's a long-standing collaboration between the three of us creating the music. And he did such a beautiful, haunting thing where he took an avant-garde style and combined it with a very classical Baroque style, and kind of used the two very incredibly seamlessly but very hauntingly to create the score.
We knew early on that we wanted the music to operate as these emotionally charged interludes that help connect us between the past and the present.
Almost like bridges, emotional bridges from the past to the present.
Yeah, and otherwise the music is quite sparse. There's not a lot of music in any of the scenes, but when there is music, it's very heightened, and it really amplifies the emotions of where we are and where we're going. I think for us, Andrea is kind of the backbone of the emotionality of our projects. We work really closely with him and trying to find the motif that's going to represent the sound of the movie throughout. And once we kind of unlock what that is, it really helps take overall shape of the film. And we did this during COVID. It was a live performance that was recorded in England. And then we were listening in remotely via Zoom, giving notes to the performers and to Andrea, but we were very lucky to be working with them.
Avant-dernière question, Festival du film de Toronto, première mondiale, Violation a été présenté, Festival de Vancouver, Calgary Festival, Sundance Film Festival, première internationale, Victoria Film Festival, Screen World International Film Festival, et maintenant le BIF à Bruxelles. Violation a fait le tour des festivals. Quelles en ont été les réactions autour du film?
Toronto Festival, Vancouver Festival, Calgary Festival, Sundance Film Festival, and now the BIF. Your movie was showed in many countries. So how was the reaction on this festival?
We've been very lucky. I feel that this is such a challenging, polarizing film that it really requires early on a champion. And so Peter Koplowski at the Toronto International Film Festival really took a chance on the film and programming it in the midnight section. And we were very fortunate and lucky. And Heidi Zwicker at Sundance championed the film. And I think having that kind of support really helps bring this kind of film to a larger audience. I would say that it's been hard for us to gauge audience responses during the festivals simply because of the online experience. But I would say that it's definitely what we expected it to be, that it's
people who
polarizing.
Love it really passionately love it, and people who hate it passionately hate it.
I think what I'm surprised by is I didn't realize we were making such a political movie. It turns out it's political, surprisingly enough. And I think that has just shown me how challenging the world is that we live in, that something like this could feel political. I think specifically it's the level of misogyny and the resistance to anything that's female focused or female driven. I'm kind of shocked by. And the resistance to the male nudity in the film was something that I think we weren't really anticipating, the strong resistance and reaction that some audiences have.
Yeah,
had.
we're very excited to see how European audiences respond, because so far the film has only been played in North America.
Yeah.
Ce sera notre dernière question. Nous avons vraiment énormément apprécié Violation, même si nous avons un peu souffert en regardant le film et il nous a hantés ensuite. Avez-vous une date de sortie de Violation pour la France que nous aimerions faire partager en France, au cinéma de préférence ou sur une plateforme?
We really enjoyed your movie. And do you know if your movie will come out in theaters in France or maybe on streaming?
So we're very lucky to be working with Altitude film sales in the UK. There are international sales agents. So they're currently in the process of trying to find the right distributor in other parts of Europe and France included. And for us, it's about maybe finding the right festival first to kind of show the film to audiences, and then shortly thereafter find the right distributor. So it's really early during this process. The film was sold to Shudder in the US, the UK, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia. And so we've just begun the kind of European part of that process, but we're hoping that it will be available
later this year.
Later this year, yeah.